Welcome back to the Galluzzo Real Estate Team podcast, where we provide insights and advice on all things related to buying, selling, and investing in real estate. I'm joined today by the knowledgeable and experienced team members of the Galluzzo Real Estate Team, Elena and Chris Galluzzo, and I'm your host, Christo Galluzzo. In today's episode, we'll be discussing the current real estate trends, what you need to know as a buyer or seller. So whether you're currently in the process of buying or selling a home, or you're just curious about the ins and outs of the real estate market, this is an episode you won't want to miss. I want to introduce the Galluzzo Real Estate Team, Chris and Elena, my parents. They have been in the business for 35 years now, probably even more. They are the juggernauts of Long Island real estate, and you don't want to mess with them, but I also want them to kind of introduce themselves, because on our first episode, this is our second podcast that we ever have done, and we're still finding the kinks, but I also do want them to talk about themselves and give them an introduction on who they are as well.
So I'm Chris Galluzzo, and I've been in the industry since 1988. I first got my real estate license in Manhattan, and my background was Manhattan real estate, Upper West Side, Upper East Side of Manhattan. And I focused generally on brownstones. And then I transferred out here about 6 years ago after working in Manhattan real estate, and I'm really enjoying it. We formed this team, and we're doing very well. We sell almost everywhere on Long Island. Our focus is in the middle of Long Island, I call it. However, we do sell every area of Long Island from Mattatuck all the way into Queens. And we're very knowledgeable. We can handle just about any situation. People like us for our integrity and our trust and our honor. And I think that really transforms our marketability. And we're very strong in negotiations also. And in this market right now, we're representing a lot more buyers than we ever have. We've been winning a lot of the negotiations, and it's been very, very fruitful for our buyers. And our sellers are very happy also. We just sold many of our houses that we had listed. In fact, all of the houses that we had listed for very, very good prices.
So you hear that, sellers? We need you to give us a call. We're running out of listings here.
We're running out of inventory, and it's going fast.
And now we have Elena.
So I'm Elena Galluzzo, and I have been in the business for about 20 years. Not as old as him. I started in the same year, around 88, where I really was not 88. It was my first job out of college, and I was working for Siegel Reese in West Islip. That's where I started, back on the South Shore, where we lived. And I did that about 6 years, and then I started having many, many children. So I took a little hiatus and started back up.
To be clear, 4 children.
Yeah, many. Many children.
A little too many.
So many. And then in 2010, started back up when the economy crashed. So it was a really good time to start being a real estate agent. And now here we are, the Galluzzo team.
Well, I always go by, it doesn't really matter, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter when you go in, because everybody has a life and needs to find a place to live. So even if it's crashing, even if it's on the up and up, someone's gonna need to sell their house, or someone's gonna have to buy, someone's gonna have to rent, someone's gonna have to live somewhere.
You gotta live somewhere.
Don't be, at the end of the day, the Galluzzos are very good at being positive.
Yes, we are.
And we don't have those things stop us from doing the things that we want to do in life, and also help represent people that do need our help or assistance in the real estate realm.
Well, that being said, in 2008, when the market was collapsing, it was a different market. It's definitely not where we were back then, 2007, 8, 9. I did transition into a lot more commercial deals, and I was selling REOs, which are foreclosures generally. And we did transition into that, but I don't feel that this market is showing signs of that. Even though I'm in the commercial market, I'm looking for commercial deals to sell and represent buyers and owners of buildings. But I think on the residential side, we're not seeing tremendous foreclosures. We're not seeing tremendous sideways deals. Most people have equity. They're going to sell for a profit. even if it's $50,000, they're still going to sell for a profit. So I don't see this market being the same as the market back in 2007-8 when it was cataclysmic, because everybody was over leveraged on their houses and their houses were falling drastically.
Yeah, the real estate market now I feel is strong. It's still a seller's market. There's not a lot of inventory out there. We're still seeing lines out the door, and the houses are going for over ask.
Now that we're on that subject, we can talk about the market data as well. So let's say in Suffolk County, there's a probably like almost half of what the market has sold from last year of March. So Dix Hills in March of 2022, 28 homes sold. And now in March 2023, only 9 of those sales have happened. Only 9 homes sold back for March 2023 in Dix Hills, let's say. So it's a negative 67.9% change in the market, which is actually pretty substantial. That's in 2022, 23 million units in inventory was sold, and now it's at 11 million. I think that's a crazy thing to see. Also in Commack, there have been 15 sales. They didn't really get as much low inventory as last year as the Dix Hills or certain areas in Long Island, but they ended up being having 12 sold in March of 2023 and 15 homes sold in March of 2022. That's a negative 20% change in the market. But so
what we're seeing there is a lot of the people in Commack that were selling this year, and we fortunately have sold about 4 or 5 of those listings in the last month. We've seen a lot of flight. People are leaving to go to Florida. They're going to North Carolina. They're going up to, actually, we had one that went to New Hampshire, and they're all fleeing the city, Long Island, and now they're living a different life. But we have young couples coming from all over Long Island, and some instances from Queens, that are filling those spaces, and they're getting pretty decent deals.
Younger generation right now is filling those spaces, but that happens all the time.
Yes.
Now it's the millennials' time to actually get into the housing
Changing
game.
of the guards.
Yes, and we're gonna make all the 4 kids, or probably mainly 2, in this life. I don't think I can financially afford the 4. No, a lot of my friends do have 4 kids, or even like coming up to 6. I only know one with 6 though. Yeah, I can see the transfer happening, and it is time.
And then in the younger, even the young 20s, they're moving into the city.
The city also, I feel, has the sales price have kind of like lingered a little bit, but now it's on the up and up. I feel like just through taking a look and seeing all these people move back in, kind of fill up the spaces. A lot of people are going back into the offices. I think the city is going to get more lively.
It's mandatory in a lot of companies now, especially in the financial district. They're saying that their workers have to come back to the office. No working from home 5 days a week.
I don't know. I kind of like being a couch potato sometimes.
But they're going to start filling up those city apartments now.
I also want to talk about what our crazy weekend has been like. We've been showing all of our clients, all our buyers, and then also we have been running around sending offers out. And we have been, like Chris, you're saying, we have to beat out negotiations and beat out all these other bidders. And we had to really change up our style and kind of work even harder for this weekend. It was pretty bizarre.
It was a busy weekend, for sure.
So the one thing that we really have in our favor is that other agents love to do business with us. They trust us. They know that when we're representing a buyer, that we're going to pull through and move forward with the process and bring it to a close. And they also like the fact that we get a lot of listings, so it looks good for them when we have a lot of listings and they bring a buyer. We might hold that a little bit. It might be better for them when they represent a buyer with us involved. We're lucky that we have such a great reputation. And in fact, one of the deals, Elena, you can elaborate on it, one of the agents said that he loved working with us.
Yep. It was his brother-in-law's house, and he just felt so responsible toward him that he chose us because he knew that it was going to be a solid deal. And he didn't want to mess up his family life.
There you go. We represented one of our buyers in a Dix Hills property. And when you're presenting offers and you have multiple offers, this case in point had 6 very high offers, all over asking price. We had a similar buyer and we made it fun, and the agent wanted to work with us. He was so happy to deal with her. She chose us because she really felt confident that our buyer, because we represented them, would pull through.
And they did. It was very good deal.
And to get to the point too, at 9 o'clock at night, my son drove to Garden City to pick up the half-signed contract and the check. The next morning at 10 o'clock in the morning, we drove the check and the contract to the seller's attorney. And by Saturday morning, the contract was fully executed by the sellers and the buyers, and no one works as fast as the Galluzzos to get a deal done.
That's very true. It was, Garden City's nice, so I wasn't too upset about it. But yeah, so going back to that, the Galluzzo team, we are a full service real estate team where we do the marketing all in-house. We will work day and night for our clients for just to get the deal done, and it's all personal relationship with us. We will always be there, and we go above and beyond for sure just to get everything under contract, or get the inspection ready as soon as possible. We definitely do our best for sure.
Elena, tell us what happened over this weekend, though, as far as how many deals we have going.
We worked with, I think, 7 different families for buying, and we put in about that many offers. Each person found something they liked, and we ended up with 4 definite, and then we're still waiting on a couple for tonight. So We'll see if we get those. It was just a very, very active weekend. As much as there's not a lot of inventory, the inventory that's out there is selling at a nice price. So if you are in the market right now to sell, it is definitely a good time to put it on the market even before the flowers start to bloom, because the buyers want to get in, feel comfortable, or even not even have to close as much as just feel like they have the house, and they'll wait until the sellers are ready to close, because a lot of these buyers do not have anything to sell. They are younger. They're either living in apartments or with their parents, and they do have the leisure to say, you want to close in July, August, we're good.
Interestingly enough, no appraisals are coming back into fashion. No inspections are coming back into fashion. Where in COVID, they were very, everybody was doing it. Well, they're coming back now too.
Now, we always do suggest everybody has an inspection, even if it's only for your own knowledge, just so they're, the buyers go in knowing that the house is for them.
Yeah, and like we had an inspection this morning, and basically it's just, the house is very nice, but it comes down to the little things like smoke detectors in the bedrooms, or in the attic, they noticed that there was asbestos insulation on the pipes. Not a big deal, but it's good to know.
Yeah, just for their knowledge.
Just for their
they're
knowledge.
Comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Because when they do, let's say they have kids in the future, where they don't have kids just yet, but if they were to have somebody in the bedrooms where that insulation could be accessed, and it also helps catching the bigger things, foundation, termites. People do hide things, and you want to be able to do your due diligence.
Exactly. Very good. I agree.
And another thing, when you do work with the Galluzzos, from start to finish, we really are there fully, even through photography. We do the staging, we take everything out of the rooms, and we put them right back where they were. All the virtual staging is all of us. We basically do everything in-house. We're a team that prides themselves in helping out from start to finish, and we have multiple times taken pool tables out of basements, destroyed them.
We remove furniture.
We help.
We bring in furniture.
We help you guys no matter what.
Watch dogs and kids and.
Well, yeah, we have babysat and
we have
done many things. We actually had 2 people live with us.
Yes.
After we sold their house, we had a woman that lived with us for 5 months, 6 months?
Something like that.
After she sold her house, she was divorced and had nowhere to go. She lived in our house with Elena and I. She was a good cook, so we were very happy about that. And we had another young woman that had just gotten a divorce, and she had nowhere to go temporarily with her 2 daughters, and they lived in our house for about a month.
But we try not to make that a habit.
It's not something we want to do all the time, but you know what? That's the way we work. We are very family oriented, and that's why we get a lot of referrals from our friends and family.
And then we also provide other, aspects if you needed a handyman, electrician, plumber, any of those vendors.
Attorney.
We have, 3 or 4 choices that you can look up, and they're all reliable and good. So that's the full service part of our business.
The Galluzzo Team, helping homes find their people. This market has been a little bit different from COVID market. I feel like it's getting back into before COVID a little bit, just still so much interest in the process. I have been seeing a lot of lines at the open houses now. They're coming back. It's been, about a month that they've been really growing again.
Yep.
A lot of tension. Buyers are, getting a little bit more crazy, which is understandable since there is probably 0.5% of inventory from last year.
And the buyers that are here now, as opposed to COVID buyers, they're a stronger set of buyers. The interest rate's a little bit higher, so you don't have the brand new buyers that were able to come out because the interest rate was so low. So those people had to disappear and just save a couple of more thousands of dollars before they can come back into the market now. So the buyer is a little older and has a lot more stability. Everybody's pretty neck and neck when they're putting in bids.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it even a stronger offer. You're not getting the really low people and then a high. Everybody's pretty much neck and neck.
And there's only a few people that are willing to do the waiving the appraisal and kind of making that sacrifice to go 60, 70,000 over ask. In the higher end, I've been seeing that, but not right now. Live in action, guys.
Yes.
Don't let things happen. You got to go and get it.
You gotta make it happen to you.
Yeah, don't let it happen to you.
Let it happen for you.
Well, the nice thing is we do have about 10 listings coming in the next month and a half, which is very important. Listings are really the way a realtor makes their money in this world. Buyers are great, but listings are very important to solidify and get more buyers off of the listings. So we're fortunate that we have about at least 10 listings coming in the next 60 days.
We have a very stressed man over here. We need everybody to call him right now to give him reassurance that they'll be listing with him.
It's okay, dear.
Well, I guess the good news is we just sold my parents' house. So my parents' house that I grew up in since 1970 in Deer Park is under contract. Really fetched a fantastic price. Most agents in the community didn't think we were going to get $600,000 for a house that needed to be renovated in Deer Park, but we did. We have a really wonderful couple that's expecting a baby coming in. And they're very excited about it. My parents are excited about it. They don't have to walk upstairs anymore. They were having trouble making the stairs up and down the house. Now they live in a ranch in Deer Park also. Buyers are ecstatic, and my parents left them a lot of the furniture because they didn't have enough furniture to furnish the home. And we're seeing a lot of the movement like that now. So there's a transition. I would say it's probably about 60% of the market right now is the elderly moving out and younger couples moving in. We're just fortunate that my parents are moving to Deer Park instead of Florida or North Carolina or wherever else everybody's flocking to. Fortunate in that regard.
Well, they do like New York. They don't mind the winter.
Which is getting milder and milder, by the way.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, they just want to be near their grandchildren, so that's important.
Well, half of the grandchildren moved to Arizona.
I know. You do miss them.
When you're going to purchase a home, you have to really know what your long-term goals are and your short-term goals. If you see yourself being in that home for, 30 some odd years, do you want a split with all those stairs? Do you want a ranch? It's kind of just all on the same level. Colonial is the same Are you going to need a master bedroom on the first floor? These are all these things. When you're actually looking, you're going to know what your needs and wants are. And it's good to actually have somebody kind of guide you and help you out figuring out what that is. But it all comes down to you and your family. But a good example would be like my grandparents' house when they couldn't use the stairs. In the long term, they would have to sell and go into a ranch style in the future. And whether you have $1,500 rent?
No, $1,700.
$1,700?
It's pretty amazing when the going rate for over 55 is probably $3,500 for a 2-bedroom and up.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing very well with that, and they don't have to have stairs anymore. Much more amenable for them and us. We don't have to worry so much. So it's a good thing.
All right. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Galluzzo Real Estate Team podcast. We hope you found this discussion on the real estate market and all the trends in our life and the introduction to Chris and Elena Galluzzo and myself, Christo Galluzzo, and all the services that we provide our clients. And if you're looking to buy, sell, and if you're an investor, or if you're just wanting to know the ins and outs of the real estate market, always tune in, subscribe, like our page, and you'll be able to get all the updates. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you next time.